Hi, I'm Mark Meer, and I'll be voicing the protagonist Will Mackenzie in The Long Dark, a new project from Hinterland Studio.
We're in Mark's basement.
Yes, we're in my basement currently. It is full of nerdy crap, and I have a very patient wife who allows it to be so. These pistols, this Carnifex, and this eagle were made by Michael Kraft of Pillar of Dawn Studio. This helmet was made for me by Eric Jarman, and this bit of excellence is a silicone Vorcha mask that was made for me by Wes Branton.
It's obvious that you have been a nerd for a long time. Like, did you grow up with comic books and fantasy books and things like that?
Oh, certainly, yeah. I've been collecting comics for as long as I've been able to read. This Omni Blade was made for me by Peter White. This Crusader shotgun is more of Michael Kraft's work. And these are plush Blastos, one crocheted and one Beanie Baby. My very first work with BioWare was for Baldur's Gate 2.
Yeah.
That was one of the evil clerics in the final cutscene.
There is no reason to be concerned. The fate of this fool has been sealed.
That one line was delivered with enough conviction that they kept hiring me back for things.
When you get the script and the description, what sort of mental process do you go through?
Well, basically you want to visualize the character in your head, put yourself in their shoes. And often with voiceover for video games especially, you're not going to see the complete script until you're in the booth. So that improv actually comes in quite handy for that, being able to drop immediately into character and into the situation. I would say that in large measure, you are again relying on the director to guide you through the process, and they're your Sherpa on the mountain that is the video game.
I've never been called a Sherpa.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really interested by the nature of the game. Of course, a lot of people have talked about it online, just being excited about the fact that it doesn't have mutants or zombies or robots or that sort of. Now, don't get me wrong, I love mutants, zombies, and robots, and mutant zombie robots are among my favorites. But the whole idea of it being a realistic survival simulation,
right?
One that's taking all these things into account. I was a big fan of the Fallout franchise, and that sort of nail-biting setting that was keeping track of your water intake and your rads and your food and all that sort of thing. Yeah, so playing an entire game like that, and one that's so rooted in reality, it really has appeal, actually.
Is it more challenging to do a realistic role as opposed to the over-the-top sort of fantasy, more cartoonish roles?
In some ways it can be. Certainly, in Mass Effect, for example, they were going for realism, and so they wanted a sort of more toned-down version of your typical space hero.
Right.
So approaching Will Mackenzie, it's going to be fun because he's not necessarily a hero type. He's a guy who works for a living. He's a blue-collar guy, he's a bush pilot, and he finds himself thrust into this ungodly situation, and then watching him deal with it is going to be part of the experience.
Our sort of tagline is, how far would you go to survive? Mm-hmm. And so I think that has to come out in the character of Will Mackenzie, where, when he makes an agonizing decision, I want people to hear that in Will's voice. I thank you for doing this.
Not at all. Thank you.
Doing this interview and showing me all your really cool toys.
Oh yeah, I got some more. There's more. We'll play some HeroClix in a bit.
There's a lot of toys.
Yeah, he hasn't even been in the HeroClix room yet.
Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. So, if you have any last words about the project and the backers and things like that?
Well, I would like to thank any backers for their support, and I think we're doing very well. We're just a few days into the Kickstarter campaign, and we're already a quarter of our way to the goal. So we certainly thank everybody who's backed the project so far, and we encourage anyone who has not backed the project thus far to do so.
Absolutely.